there are a couple of insights that I'd like to emphasize on. As Ulrika said in the beginning, we were a bit surprised of the level of engagement. That has been a pattern that we've seen in all these prototypes that have been going on in all more or less 5-6 municipalities doing this work. And from my perspective, what does that say to us? Why haven't we been able as organizations to get a hold of that before? And for me, something really struck me strongly yesterday when Anne, do you remember Anne Tortzen said yesterday, it's probably not this issue of that they are hard to reach. The issue is that they're easy to ignore. And there was something also which both Ulrika, Susanna and Ingrid pushed upon. They kept the relationship going with the people to empower the voices to stay there, to stay in the process. So it's not just a practical dimension to get people to come. It's also the sensation of being empowered for real, because it's been shown that my voice really counts. Is so valuable because then I grow and I can stand a bit taller and stronger with my voice, and it's okay. So there's some sort of just very peculiar, potentially, details in this that I'd just like to emphasize. So now we're going to Fagersta, which is another place in a sense, but the same in another sense. You have been working very hard, I know, because I've had the opportunity to follow you through this work and try to guide sometimes. Please tell us your stories and insights about, because you've really tried to push the envelope of including more people or several people into the society, not just business as usual, so to say. So please, the stage is yours. I'll start the film and all that stuff later.
Okay, thank you. I'm Elisabeth, and in this work I work as a facilitator.
And my name is Annika Hedberg Roth, and I'm a facilitator and the project leader of this project called Including Several. Fagersta is a small municipality with about 13,200 inhabitants. It's about 200 kilometers northeast from here in an old rural area with mining tradition. And about 90% of the inhabitants live in the central part of Fagersta, which is about 3 kilometers in diameter. Yes, and the segregation in those 3 kilometers is quite big. In the south, we have Swedish middle-class people living in their own houses with work and income, and they join the elections and they take part in spare time activities and organizations. And in the north, we have people in rental houses from many different countries, unemployed, with no knowledge or less knowledge of Swedish society, language, and not as taking as much part in leisure activities or election. And we can see this in the schools, because in the south we have about 5% of the children with another language than Swedish in that school, and in the north it's about 70% of the children with another language than Swedish, and these children doesn't meet. So in many perspectives the segregation goes through so many different areas of life. And our question that we have been working with and that we have applied this working model that we got from Salar is, how can we together create a society where we can live together? How can we include more people?
Click. Different ways and places to meet citizens in Fagersta. This is an example from a Pokemon event in our central park. The meeting was to meet the young population, to hear what they think about including, and if they have had any suggestions. Other ways to meet has been talking to people one-on-one, meetings with a few, and meetings with larger numbers of interest participants. We have met citizens in all ages, older, parents with small kids, parents with older kids, and so on. We have also met refugees who has come to Fagersta recently. Some of them in asylum procedure, so they didn't know if they could stay in Fagersta. One of our difficulties has been to attract people to come and give their views, and we totally failed when it comes to have negative opinions of, for example, refugees, but we know that these opinions exist. We also failed to get no voices in realities, and we didn't reach any hot stuff. A lesson we learned is to adjust how we normally arrange meetings if we should reach and attract new groups of citizens. We had to make it possible to participate, offering childcare, offer a simple meal, have meetings at times when people can participate, and so on. And the process design is very important and must be planned carefully.
This is a picture from one of our meetings, and the line is, sharing perspectives. What doesn't show in this picture is that these people are representatives from different cultures, from different parts of the society. We have politicians, we have people active in the civil sector or working in the municipality, different ages, different background, carriers of different perspective. And our main goal here is to get them to sit around the table and feel comfortable to share their perspectives. To agree is very common in the work of, for example, developing a municipality. To listen for the strongest voice and let that be guiding and silent others. The easy way and the fast way. In this work, we search for differences and opposite voices, different perspectives. We have collected perspectives that often stand against each other. And the key in our work is to get those to meet. We found that it's a big difference to forcing everybody to change opinion and agreeing and making people understand others' perspectives without having to change their own. It's a big difference. And to do this, we had to create meetings where people could meet in comfortable, safe terms. To do this, we had to learn new methods. And this was a journey for everybody, and I don't think we've dared to do this without the support of Salar and the network, with the communities and the support of the process leaders and the researchers and everything. One of the people taking part in this was the chairman of the Board of Education and Leisure. And he attended all the meetings we had, and he said that in the beginning he was insecure and he found the meetings frightening. But throughout the process he felt more and more comfortable, and he took more and more responsibility for his part. We've also found a challenge in sharing perspectives in the Swedish, the secularity of Sweden. It's so common in Sweden to look away of the importance of the religion for other people from other countries, and that is a challenge for us to work with.
Klick bara. This is the mayor of Fagersta, Marino Wallsten, and Fatuma Osman, who here tell her experience in the film we should see as a participant in the dialogues. But Fatuma still work with us as a participant in the work group and even as an action researcher. Film.
Det är väl processen hit som är det man tänker på ganska mycket. Det är ett omfattande arbete och en liksom viktig insamling av åsikter och vad ska man säga, kunnande i en salig blandning här, som är ju ett fantastiskt beslutsunderlag. Det är ju sällan man får ett så gediget arbete att ta beslut utifrån. Så att det här är otroligt spännande. Det är väl det man tänker.
Man lär sig jättemycket och varenda gång så går jag härifrån uppiggad och vill göra, och det känns så roligt att se alla som är så engagerade och så involverade. Man får energi.
Until now, we have had a lot of experience, of course. In loop number 2 is the work to create a customized parenting education dedicated to parents who live in Fagersta. For that work, we have handpicked experts from the social service, school, and so on, but even people with own experience as parents, and even people from other countries. All of them have also to speak to their own families and the network to get as many perspectives as possible. The working group has the task to create the best education to different groups, especially needs. They also have the task to make parents to participate. As a complement to get all perspectives, we also have had several focus groups with parents from Somalia, Eritrea, Syria, and of course even Sweden. The insights we got so far is both positive and negative. It's difficult to get people who are willing to participate and also continue over time. It's easy to feel powerlessness when people describe their situation, how they abdicate as parents in fear of the social service, instead of understand the help and support they offer. Some of you might have seen the film on YouTube where police officer helps the social service to pick up and place a child in family home. The family is immigrants, and it's very dramatical. When we listen to immigrant parents, we understand that they don't understand when intervention happens. It becomes clear that as new in Sweden, you don't feel comfortable in the role of parent. The children learns new languages quicker and often gets and takes the role as the head of the family. We discover also that children many times use their knowledge in the new society to threaten their parents to get what they want, expensive mobile phones, clothes, etc. The family's incomes is not so high that they can afford things that the children want, so they take loans or buy on installment, and it's not unusual that liabilities ends at the Crown Court. And that we all know what it means. As said earlier, we have difficulties to come deeper in different issues, but lately we have discovered how deep the gap is between the Swedish-born population and people with immigrants' background. It's not only in which residential area they live, it's the alienation. We have listened to parents who are so frustrated over losing their natural pondus, who feels forced to look at children who behaves bad, but not dare to tell them.
So many of the perspectives we met is about alienation. We found that nearly no one in Fagersta feels completely included. Nearly no one feels good enough. And Fagersta, as I said before, is an old industrial community that struggles with common bad self-esteem. It's difficult to include others when you don't feel included yourself. Integration is present everywhere and in so many different areas, no matter what subjects. Gathering perspectives showed us how completely different lives are in Fagersta, depending on where you're from, in a diameter of 3 kilometers. Throughout our work so far, we've met a big distrust in what the municipality does, for who and why. We have to focus on gaining trust, and to do that we need to continue to invite and include inhabitants to take part in the development of Fagersta.
Thank you. As you can sense, at least I sense it, it's a very powerful story, and it's real. It's not happening somewhere far, far away. It's actually right here. From my perspective, it's such a useful learning to realize, even if the municipality does, quote, quote, its best, from a different perspective, it can look totally different. We saw the video yesterday of the parents being, the children being, of course it's not the whole story, but it's a perspective on these issues, and it's so painful to see. And for me, a key learning from Fagersta is really the realization it's not about someone coming from another country, it's all about us. It's the realization of inclusiveness. How am I going to be included if I can't even sense being included in the context that I'm already in? So it's a very, very strong story, even if there's lots and lots and lots of work to do yet. As Elisabeth said, we've touched the fire, we've potentially seen it, but we haven't been in it, but we need to go there. That's a true realization. So thank you for that.